Okay, so I'm going to show you guys how you can save the biggest number of expenses. Okay, so the first thing is you need to go and have a look at your goals, right? Your ultimate goal is to have your family have a great time and a memorable time. Okay, so how are you going to do it? You want to give them the best, okay, and make sure that everyone has a highlight for the whole day. All right, every day, every person must have a highlight, whether that's chicken rice, whether that's standing on the Sky Park Observatory, whether it's one of the rides at Universal Studios, whatever it is, everyone needs to have a highlight, okay? Because that's how you're going to have a successful holiday, okay? Second thing you got to do is 80%, right, of the on-the-ground expenses are your hotel and attractions, okay? 80%. So what you need to do, right, is you've got to look at the really big items. Focus on those first, okay? You've really got to do that. Once you focus on the big items, you can reduce the expenses by a lot, okay? So we've got a demo, 2 adults, 1 child. You've seen this slide before, right, in the previous presentation, okay? It's just a breakdown of all the typical costs that you would incur, right, when you're going on a particular holiday to Singapore. It's a general itinerary, but it's one of the more common itineraries where people kind of see similar things, right? And I've just put them all into one chart, and then I've put the costs associated to it. You've seen this before in the previous slides, okay? All right, so the next thing that we do is we take the hotels, right? And we say, with the hotels, we're going to go and put this all together, right? How much it's going to cost to stay in the hotel, and then you lump the two together, your daily cost plus the hotel, right? If you have 3 people in a room, you split it to 3. If you have 2 people in a room, you split the cost into 2. And then on the cheapest, I think we got is $571.40, okay, per person in a 2-room configuration, 2-person per room configuration at Hotel 81. Okay, so that was about the cost. Then, if we compared with somewhere like V Hotel Lavender, right, it's $657. We are not endorsing these hotels. They're just the typical hotels that everyone stays at. Okay, so what we will do is we just give you a rough ballpark figure. Okay, now the expenses which are the ones that take up the most, okay, of any holiday, right, in Singapore will be 40% to do with attraction tickets and 40% to do with hotels. So when you're looking at the largest cost, what you want to do is to reduce the largest cost, okay? Yes, you can look at, a $12 SIM card versus a $14 SIM card, but hey, let's face it, that's only $2. So don't spend like hours and hours pouring through and trying to figure out which SIM card should I buy, right? That shouldn't be the way. What you should do is focus on how I can reduce the costs, right? What's the best way I can reduce all the large costs? And it might just be a small tweak, but you will save more than $2. Definitely more, okay? So this is how we're going to do it, right? The first thing you've got to look at is flights, okay? The flight dates make a massive difference, okay? Massive, I tell you. Let's say you thought, hey, I've got Easter holidays coming up, right? So Good Friday, Saturday, and Easter Sunday. And you say, hey, it's 3 days off. I want to go and make the most of it, okay? You could do that. And I will show you, this is the price that you'll be looking at, right? If you were to go the Good Friday, which is 29th, right? To Easter Sunday, right? That'll be the 1st of April. And you know how much 2 adults and 1 child will cost? That's right, it's $1,239. Just picked an example, it's flying from Manila to Singapore. Okay? Now, can you do it in a cheaper way, right? Can you make your Singapore trip more affordable? And that's what this session is about. So I'm going to show you how, right? You go, and again, this is all stuff I've showed you guys before, so it's no secret. Look at this. This is Google Flights, okay? Google Flights is a portal. It's similar to the things like Skyscanner, right? Which a lot of people use. I think Booking.com also has a flight function, right? But you can choose all of these different tools to help you narrow down to see when is the best time to fly. Now, I've chose Google Flights because I've used it for a long time. I'm familiar with it, and there's this special button in Google Flights, which is an amazing button, and this makes all the difference. Okay, so if you just look, I put in 2 adults, 1 child here, where it says 3. You've got the departure place, the arrival place. I put it as non-stop, so I don't want to go via Malaysia or go via another country. I want to go direct. Okay, I put the dates in here, right? And this is all that it's come up with. Okay, so it's 1,229 to go during Easter time. Now, what I'm going to do is going to click a special button, which is this one. Okay, it's called the price graph. And this is where the magic happens. This is the button you want to click, okay? Because after you click this button, you will see this graph, okay? And what it shows you is all the different dates you could travel, right? April, May, and the calendar goes on. And it's also got here, right, how much the tickets are, okay? So again, the 3-person configuration for a 3-day trip, I can reduce it down to $588, right? And you have a visual picture, so it's very obvious, right? Anytime kind of after around this period here, it's fairly flat, okay? So if you wanted to find the best time to travel, it's any time around here onwards, okay? So what does it actually do? If you go and click it, so I clicked it and I chosen here 8th of April to the 11th of April, this is what happened. Your price has dropped from $1,239 just for the airfare. Just for the airfare, okay? It is now $588, okay? We're going by Jetstar, okay? We're going by Jetstar. It's $588 here. It's nice, okay? It's really, really nice. So that's what we do. We fly on that particular time, okay? Then, okay, so Monday after work, right? It's a late flight, so you can fly after work on Monday. You arrive in Singapore on Tuesday morning, okay, as an example, right? Then what you could do is you could sleep at the hotel, right? On that early Tuesday morning, and then get up a bit later. Alright, but the idea is you are getting to Singapore and you save so much money. It's about $600 that you save. Okay, you want to fly a different airline, you can also do that. Okay, but it just gives you an idea. Use this price graph button. Okay, I use it for every single trip. Every single trip I go overseas, I always press this button because it makes a massive cost saving difference. Okay, now let's look at the second big area. Okay, the second one is called hotels. Alright, and we've talked about this one before as well. Okay, so the normal hotel, right, which people usually look at, right, one of the common ones, right, I mentioned Hotel 81. You've got this one, okay, it's called V Lavender. Okay, it's the same one as before, right? So if you're to look at, let's say, 3 nights, okay, 3 nights here with 3 people in the room, you're looking at about $587, okay, which turns out per night is $195. Okay, remember that number. Please remember that number. I'm going to show you something else. Okay, it's $195 a night. It's a 4-star hotel. Okay, there's a gym, there's a pool. It's near Lavender. Okay, I think it's just around the corner from Lavender. So it's quite convenient, and a lot of people stay here. $195 a night. Okay, remember that number. Now, I'm going to show you another one. Look at this. This is Western. Same time period. Okay, same time period. 3 nights will cost you $1,530. Per night is $510. Okay, now Western Hotel is a 5-star hotel. It's a gym. There's a pool, just the same as V Lavender. It is right next to Marina Bay Sands. You can literally walk in about 7 minutes. Okay, Gardens by the Bay, right, is if you're around Marina Bay, then you have Gardens by the Bay, Art Science Museum, Merlion, Helix Bridge, Esplanade. You have Singapore Flyer. You have the Sky Park up the top, right? Going up Marina Bay Sands. Everything is there, right? So look at the numbers. I'll rewind again. It's $195 for V Lavender, and it's $510 a night for Westin. Okay? Now, I'm going to tell you how you can stay at a 5-star hotel, okay, for a price that is cheaper than V Lavender, okay? And you would have seen this before, and everyone has asked. Some people have got their answers already, but I'm going to tell you, right, that I have validated these people are not scamming. In fact, and here's something which I didn't tell you guys before, but I've actually gone for one of these about, what is it, 20 years ago, probably a bit more than 20 years ago. Okay, it's exactly the same program. It happened in Singapore. So when I see these types of adverts, I know what they are. And so I also did the interview with Ross. I don't know if you guys remember Ross from like quite a number of episodes ago, right? You can go and replay that video. I asked this same question: is this $349 thing a scam? Okay, and we interviewed Ross about that, right? You can make your own decision. Okay, if you think it's a scam, go ahead. But I've looked into it, and it looks okay to me. And it's the same program that I attended 20 years ago. Okay, so this is what happens when you run this particular promo. Watch this. Your $510 a night gets reduced to $149 a night. Okay, but you only get to stay 2 nights. Okay, so that's the point. You only get to stay 2 nights. You don't get to stay 3 nights. Okay, so if you're here for 3 nights, you got to make arrangements. Okay, but the idea is you stay for $174 a night. And do you remember how much you had to, how much it cost you to stay at V Lavender? Let's rewind. Here, it's $195 a night at V Lavender, and it costs you $174 a night, right, at the Westin. How does that make sense? Okay, so if you watch the previous promo video, the previous interview I did with Ross, okay, so Ross explains that you actually need to sit through a 2-hour, I think it's 2 or 3 hour presentation, which they are going to do. As long as you sit through it, you get this price. Okay? Actually, it's the other way. You get this price, but you're required to sit through that particular presentation. Okay, it's 2 or 3 hours. Okay, and that's it. Okay, but like I said, you know, if you choose not to do this, right, that's up to you. I'm just showing you the cheapest way to have an awesome holiday. And who doesn't want to stay at a 5-star hotel? Okay, so I'm going to leave Ross's details in the bottom in the comment section below, right? If you want to contact him, give him a bit of time, because if, you know, he suddenly gets 50 people asking him, he needs time to go through and process, okay? But yeah, okay. So I am not endorsing this particular program. I am coming from the angle of how it can save you money and how you and your family can have an awesome and memorable trip. Okay? That is the purpose of going through things like this. Okay? If there was another program doing something similar, run by a different company, I would also share that with you. Okay? So it's not a tie-up, getting no kickbacks, no special deals from this particular group to me. Nothing. Okay? Full disclosure. Alright. Now, the third area that you save money, okay, big ones, is the attraction tickets, as I've showed you before, okay? So, you can get legit tickets, okay, through us, okay? You can get legit tickets which are definitely cheaper than the official attraction place, and cheaper than our competitors. right? So some of our competitors, I think a lot of you guys would use, it's a little orange company, and you click on a particular app, and then you get various prices, and a lot of people purchase through there. Okay, so why are our tickets actually cheaper? Because we make smaller margins. Okay, the way ticketing works, and just to give you guys an idea, the way ticketing works is you have a very large volume, okay, and because it's a commodity, right? So everybody's buying the same tickets, okay, and it depends how much margin you want to make, right? So through myself and my trusted Singapore reliable wholesalers, right, what we do is we get tickets at maybe not the cheapest price, not cheaper than the orange company, okay, but it will be still cheaper, okay, than the official, and then we make smaller margins. Okay, so the orange company might make very large margins, which is why their price is higher. Okay, but for us, it's legit, not scamming anyone. We just look at smaller margins, and that's how we achieve lower pricing. Okay, so let's have a look. Here are some current prices. Okay, here are the current prices. So you've got things, and I've just compared with the official. Okay, so if you go on the official site, you see things like Gardens by the Bay selling for $32. We're selling for $29.40. Legolands for $69. I think that's from the Malaysia site, and we're selling it for $53.50. Mandai 48, $44.20. MBS was at Art Science Museum for $40, and we're selling it for $27.60. The Sky Park Observatory, $32. We're selling for $28.50. Sorry, my eyes. And then Sea Aquarium. Sea Aquarium's difficult. Their margin, they don't give us much discount at all. So it's roughly similar. I think everyone's squeezed into a very tight area here. Universal as well. It's also very, very tight. Okay, so the margin's there. The Express, yeah, we can give you a little bit there. And then the Sentosa Wings of Time. Okay, that show, right? So the request is that a lot of the information, right, that we share every single week is free for you. Okay, it's absolutely free. You can download all the videos, you can rewatch the videos 20 times or whatever. Is up to you, right? And we have no problems with that. Okay, what we do want to do is just to make sure, right, that you guys are getting a good deal, right, so that you can have an affordable trip, right? Not everyone comes from the same financial background. Okay, so some people, yeah, okay, you might be a bit more free with your money, and other people, you're a bit more tight with your money, right? That's fine. I still want to try and find a way to make it affordable for everyone to travel. Okay, so that's why I'm sharing all these free tips for you, right? So if you can help to support us and to continue the work that we do, right? We ask that, if possible, you can consider us when you are looking at buying tickets. Okay, promise you, not out to scam anyone. Okay, all right. So wrapping it all up, right? Here is a look at the savings, right? I already showed you how traveling at the right time is critical. Okay, $651, right, was saved just by choosing the right dates. Okay, yeah, you might have to take annual leave, right? So you might have to say, hey boss, can I take Monday off, or can I take Friday off, or can I have Friday and Monday off so I can go for a 4-day holiday overseas, right? But I tell you, for $651, I would ask my boss for leave. Okay, that's what I would do. Accommodation, right? Same type of thing. If you don't want to take, I'm not forcing anyone, but if you feel uncomfortable with that program, okay, that I've talked about, which Ross represents, right? Just don't do it, okay? It's important to feel comfortable. So if you don't feel comfortable, don't do something that you're not comfortable with, okay? But if you are okay with it, you can go for it, and this is the particular saving that you will have, right? It's the original price over $1,000. You minus the discounts, etc., and you end up getting $671 saving, right, from that. The attraction tickets, if you buy through us, compared with the official site, you're saving about 12%, depends on what tickets you get, right? Plus minus, it's around there. Okay, so the total saving definitely is a 4-figure saving. Definitely 4 figures. Okay? Alright, so I've showed you all my tips and tricks. Okay? I'm wondering what else I'm going to be talking about every single week, right? Because I've kind of shown all of my hands and shown everything. But you know that I will continue to support you guys, right? And to show you different things, right? That you may find helpful. Okay. The only thing is that, you know, it might get a bit repetitive. I'll try to change things. That's why I like the SIM cards, right? I was trying to help you guys and give you updated information on the SIM cards and stuff. Let's see what we can do there. Okay. Now, I'm going to go through a few questions because I did see a few things popping up, and I know the beginning section did have some problems with the sound. So let's see if I can answer a few questions. Oh, a lot of questions. Okay. Hi, Sonia. Yeah, audio problem. I only figured it out later. Oops. But I've done a rewind, so you guys got it up already. Lady Asha, good. Take advantage of that. I agree. Angeline would love to. Okay, for a couple. Yes. Okay, that particular hotel stay thing is for a couple. Okay, so if you're traveling with more than 2 people, I think there are a few conditions. You can go and talk to Ross. Actually, go watch the previous video. I think you gotta be married, a married couple. There was something else. I can't quite remember. Okay, need to go and watch that video again, right? So if you are interested, I'll post the link later, okay, down the bottom, together with Ross's details. What else do I have? Yeah, I know, can't wait. Okay. Do you recommend buying tickets in advance? Okay, so you can do it the night before, okay? You can do your ticketing the night before, right? There are some things that you really should book in advance, okay? So I've said this from the beginning, right? Even before I was selling tickets. Number one is you've got to book your Universal Studios, okay? At least the admission, okay? If you don't want to buy the express passes and all that, fine, but because you can always buy that inside, right? But I would really get the Universal tickets early, okay? They are hot. In fact, that I would say, observing kind of the scene, they're the number one attraction, okay? Clearly the number one attraction. Everyone who comes to Singapore, right, will... Oh, not everyone, probably 95% of people who come to Singapore and have questions about what to see, Universal Studios is always there, okay? So it's definitely hot, okay? Go and book those tickets, okay? The other one is the Singapore River Cruise, okay? The Singapore River Cruise, I will tell you, you need to be a bit careful, okay? You can buy the tickets in advance, okay? But, okay, why would you buy the tickets in advance? Because if they sell out on that day, you don't get it, okay? But there are 2 steps to Singapore River Cruise. You got to get the ticket, and number 2, you've got to queue up, okay? So the Singapore River Cruise has 1 jetty point at Clarke Quay, okay, just one, and that 1 jetty point has trips. It's at the top of every hour, so it'd be 6 p.m, 7 p.m, 8 p.m, 9 p.m, 10 p.m, okay? It doesn't go 6:15, 6:30, all that stuff. So it's every hour, okay? Top of the hour. But the thing is, part 2 is that you have to queue up, okay? It's a first come, first serve. So you have the ticket, but it doesn't mean you book a slot and I will get the 6 o'clock ferry, okay? It doesn't mean that. To get 6 o'clock, you've got to start queuing from like 5 something, stand in the queue and make sure you're high enough in the queue to be able to get on the 6 p.m. ferry, okay? So you've got to take note of that, okay? It doesn't mean that you've got the ticket, you will get on the ferry. You still have to queue, okay? So allocate time for that. So I think those are the 2 main ones that I would say you need to really go and plan a bit, okay? There are other things which are safer, okay? And those are the indoor things, okay? The indoor things, yeah, you can book it in advance, you can buy it on the day, it doesn't really matter. But things like Art Science Museum, right? If it's raining, if it's like heavy rain, if it's sunny, if it's hot, whatever the weather, right? You can go to Art Science Museum. You can go to any museum. You can go to any shopping center. You can go to Gardens by the Bay, right? That will go anytime, right? So you got to, and I covered this before, you got to look at which attractions happen in outdoor settings and which ones happen in indoor settings, okay? And have a look at the weather. I also shared with you guys, go and download the NEA app, MyENV, right? Download that and you'll be able to see the weather. If you're not sure, you can ask me, hey Andrew, what's the weather like? Or you don't have to ask me, you say, hi Siri, what's the weather? Joking. Okay, so yeah, that's that. Okay, another question. Hi Hennessy, so your question is about the Express Pass in USS. Is it worth it? Difficult question. I will give you a few guidelines, okay? So number one is that crowds are less Monday to Friday. Monday to Thursday, probably Friday as well, okay? Weekends are really a bit chaotic. Public holiday, don't try, okay? So, excuse me, I happened to go, I think it was Chinese New Year, first day of Chinese New Year. Oh, that's right, it was. It was the first day of Chinese New Year and I went down to film the Lion Dance at Sentosa. And I was doing the Facebook Live from there. And then when I went back, it was just super packed. I went back by the Sentosa Express, which is the monorail. And when I got back, then I saw, oh, it was like, it's at least 400, 500 people queuing up for the monorail to come into Sentosa through the monorail. That was the first day of Chinese New Year, okay? So public holidays, don't go, okay? Weekends, I would say, try to avoid if you can. Now, if you choose not to get a ticket, you can expect the queues. Some people are saying the queues are like 45 minutes, an hour. So if you do your calculation, how many different kind of things within Universal Studios you want to see, and then queue up that way, then, you know, you can do it that way, right? But it'll probably be a full day, right, at Universal Studios. The other thing is, I've seen some itineraries where people say, I want to spend 3 hours at Universal Studios or 4 hours. And it's like, you're spending, you know, it's like $80 on a ticket. Why would you just spend 3 hours, most of them standing in queues of 45 minutes, right? Why would you spend 3 hours, right, on $80? I mean, for me, I wouldn't. I'd probably do it a bit different, okay? But I also had a question from someone asking, hey, you know, can you visit the Sea Aquarium, right, as well as Universal Studios on the same day? Yes, you can, okay? But what you, like I said, at Universal, you may run into a problem of, hey, you know, just joining the long queues and all that, and it may not work. So what you may want to do is you go see Sea Aquarium first, right? Enjoy it, all that stuff, and then after that, you go and go to Universal, see how the queues are, and buy a express ticket if you need to, right? That can be a way, right? Or you can switch it, but switching it the other way is doesn't quite work because Sea Aquarium, they close at 5, right? So it's better to see that kind of in the morning, or maybe go outside, have your lunch, go see Sea Aquarium, make sure you get the stamp on your hand, and then after that, go back into Universal for part 2, right? So you may want to work it that way. Right? Different ways of doing that. Okay, so I hope that's answered your question. If not, you can ask me, is it worth it? It's about the same as a normal ticket, right? So you're buying the admission ticket, then on top of that, it's like buying 2 admission tickets. The price is around there, right? It's about double, right? So that's what we're looking at. Okay, if there are no further questions, we can wrap it up. let me just check. Make sure I've answered everyone's questions. Oh. Hold on. I just got another question coming in. Nope. Okay, I think that's about it. So thanks very much for joining us, and speak to you guys in the next week. Any questions about the hotel, you can go and talk to Ross. Any questions about the attraction tickets, you send me a private message. Okay? Thanks very much, guys. Take care. Bye.